Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Ottoman's Life. My name is Ali and I'm back. I've been so busy with work and adulting in general that I haven't had the time to mess around with any Lego lately and any other of my other hobbies like gaming, etc. But I'm back and I've finally had some time to mess around and get back to the things that really matter in life, yeah? But I've recently just rearranged my Lego city because I really wanted to change it before I start getting back building again. I've done some building on the side as well, so can't wait to show you those things coming up. But I'm back and I thought let's have a look what's in the city, how I've rechanged it, how I've done the configuration and given us some more space, which when space is premium, which is a challenge and a half. Okay, I'll catch you after the break. So the most exciting thing about this new layout that I have is actually now created some space that I didn't originally have before, which is great because then I can populate it with some new buildings. One of the most fundamental principles I had with my Lego city was that we all know that space is completely premium, and we'll never have enough space for every single modular or mock in an ever expanding suitcase kind of space area to accommodate that. So one of the main principles that I really wanted to have was that I wanted to construct a city that enabled very quick and easy taking a building out if I didn't fancy it for that time being, and then swapping it with any other building that I had already built. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek of my little area beneath the desk is that you'll see I've got my diner here, I've got another mock here, I've got the corner garage here, all pre-built. But the idea is that, hey, if I fancied putting that into the city, I can easily then modify it, take a building out and slap it back in, just to give me that kind of different feeling as well. I mean, we're going to have new modules coming every year. We've got some great buildings coming out from the Lego Friends theme and the Marvel theme as well. So we will never have enough space. So really what I wanted to make sure was that to have a layout configured to enable that kind of easy swapping in and out within the city, but also keep to the themes that I have within the city. And if you've seen my city before, you know I try and go for neighborhoods and districts. So I try and have like a kind of a downtown hipster kind of neighborhood. My newest neighborhood was the culture neighborhood of culture, and my colorful French streets or Art Nouveau district, and then the traditional kind of European classic kind of buildings as well. So one of the first things that I changed straight away was the skyline over here. These buildings from the hipster area, the Bugle, the cinema, and the White Tower building, they were originally located here, and then everything else following back, and my neighborhood of culture was there. Although it worked, it didn't quite look right. And I think, when you look at a city, from this side, I wanted to have kind of a skyline of tall buildings, which the Bugle is providing. So now having that going along the width of this table, one gives a nice backdrop when you're looking at it from this angle, but at the same time, it's also generated me some extra space on that side that I can finally then put back in my tuning garage mock that was actually underneath the table all this time. So that's great. And these buildings are all going to be modified slightly higher. The Palace Cinema, I will be extending the height on this. I mean, the latest Lego Friends set that had the theater, I think is going to be great as an additional floor in there. I think it will give it a different kind of personality to that building as well. The White Tower building, I'm thinking whether I need to redesign it, modify it, but I definitely want it to have it taller. The same with the garage. I think another couple of floors would be great. And then the other two hipster building, the Pac-Man building and where the barbers are and the sushi place, those are all going to be kind of extended higher and utilizing, the Friends apartment set, Four's apartment, the Queer Eye set, the Big Bang set. So very much like the Sick complex that this great mocha Lego artisan does, but keeping to the style of these two buildings as well. I'm going to combine it together, and that will really add to the height of here as well. My son wanted to have as a centerpiece down here is the Avengers Tower, and you can see one mock over there and the other Avengers Tower back on the mantelpiece there. So we're working now on combining that together, and I think that'd be quite nice to have that maybe as a centerpiece down this road. We're not sure, we're going to think about it. And then moving along to this side, originally all of this was kind of flipped round the other way. So Friend Street was kind of facing on this side, and the police station, etc., onto this side. And the reason I swapped it around, mostly because when you come into the room and you see it, I think this is probably a nicer view to have. And I kind of pushed everything right to the edge of the table. And the main reason for that was I was very much in a habit. When you have open space, I just dumped things there and just made it look really ugly and messy. So that's kind of by default stopped me from that happening. One other change, now I've moved the boutique hotel next to the Assembly Square. Originally I had it sitting at the end of one of these buildings on the colourful street. But now I think that works quite nice, especially with the addition of the new floor, and please check out the video I've done on that explains it. But then I think it gives a nice contrast to the cinema and then the boutique hotel opposite, both of the corner style buildings. And then next to it is another mock that's sitting next to it, but I kind of changed the direction. Instead of going back to back, I've put it onto the side, and I think that gives a nice little contrast to both those buildings here. But the great thing is, it's actually now generated me another little area, a 16 plate, a half a base plate, and I think that's going to go really well when I modify the new Lego Friends Main Street buildings. I think that will look great next to it here as well, just to give some additions to this Art Nouveau district as well. And then directly opposite is the neighborhood of culture, and I think this now gives a great breathing space, shall we say, in the middle of the city, especially when you walk up to it and then you peek over, and then instead of seeing another set of buildings, having this kind of open area with the spring lantern set, and then having the mosque, and then another open area with the tree, and then the cathedral on the other side. I think now that gives a lot more breathing space, and also one whole kind of nice little quarter and culture area to walk along, and gives a nice contrast to the colourful street opposite. So it becomes a nice little walking area for our minifigures to enjoy. And then finally this street here with a classic Parisian restaurant, the bookshop, another mock that was done by Bricative, utilizing the a Friends set. It was a Grand Hotel set. The high school mock that I designed, and the Doctor Strange building, which is only there temporarily because that space there now is going to be reserved for the new Sanctum Sanctorum that Marvel are going to issue out. So that's just that's the place it's going to be. So that's great. But also, going back to my theme of creating some extra space for this new configuration, now I also have another half a base plate there to enter in, to keep a nice little area, maybe a bus stop or something. I'll figure it out, maybe another building, to make sure it doesn't clash too much with everything here. So what's great then, in essence, with this new configuration and layout, I've managed to gain in it essentially 2 half base plates worth of extra space, not including being able to swap in our tuning garage. So the buildings I've taken out was the corner garage. We finally took that out. We're unsure whether we want to dismantle it or reconfigure it into a different kind of building. We'll figure that out. But the time being, that's out of the city, and maybe if we feel like it, and sometimes I do like it. I have this love-hate relationship with that modular. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I go, I don't really like it that much. So I don't know, but the option is there for me to take it out and put it back in, because it can always fit in on this street, on the end here. I can always put it on here, and it won't look out of place, which is the most important thing. So now it really is tidying up now that I've got the layout done. I mean, you can see I use, as a tip, if you're interested, I use these 5mm foam boards to place underneath my base plates for the buildings, because I can't go down the Mills roads purely because of time and money. But that having it on the foam boards, it gives it the perfect height for the road plates, so the road plates don't be higher than the modular buildings and stuff. So it gives that kind of pavement, real road pavement kind of depth and look as well. So I need to cut this a little bit to make it in the right place. In addition, you probably notice it's not exactly quite level at that side, because these tables, for some reason, they have sunk in the middle. It just gives you an idea of how heavy the Lego buildings can be. So I need to put some spacers underneath there. And another tip, use the cardboard from your Lego boxes. They are great spacers to have underneath. If you have some uneven kind of grounds as well, that gives that kind of flatness and levelness that you have. And I've used those a little bit on some underneath some of these plates, just to give that level. So, and then I can start putting in the road plates. The other thing, I mean, I don't necessarily have to have road plates on this side, because in effect I've got another half a base plate amount of space here on this side of the table. So if I wanted to extend and have another building, a half a base plate building on each side, I can do that. The reason I kind of left it a little bit open for road plates for the time being is when I walk across here, I have a habit of knocking things over with my elbow. So it's probably safer to keep it from there. And then similarly on this side, I've got a little bit of space there. Not quite half a base plate with some overhang. So again, I still have quite a bit of space when you think about it. And, with some clever reconfiguration and layout changes, but also trying to keep it all looking nice as opposed to a big mess, which you may do at this angle, it can create some more space in such a way how you configure it. So I hope then that's given you some ideas with your city, and if it worked, do you reconfigure your city a lot? Because I'm even thinking maybe I want to change this again already, even though it's a painful process. But for now, this is going to be the city layout, and there's a lot of work to do in some of the buildings. I can't wait to get building again. And we're going to see some new additions to the city. So I hope that's giving you some help and inspiration for your city. And until next time, we've got quite a lot of things coming up. Some new mocks. I know a lot of people have asked for reviews to ask how I built some of my buildings on the French Street, and the new Sanctum Sanctorum is coming soon, so I can't wait to place that into the city as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming up, but for now, take it easy, take care, peace and love.